began asymptomatic testing.
Several student organizations at FGCU, Oregon,
and we're gonna play Guess the Song.
Hello, welcome to Hanging with the Executives here at the Bauer School of Music.
And you're watching ENTV.
Hey everyone, welcome back to week 7 of Hard Hitters. I'm your host this week, Nick Asselin.
And I'm Kevin Rollins.
And I'm Carson Zorn.
All right, well, we had another really exciting week of the NFL. A lot of crazy upsets this week. But we're going to start it off with our game of the week. I'm sure you guys could have guessed this. The Bills versus Chiefs. The Bills finally bested Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. Got the win 24-20.
This was a huge win for Buffalo, though. It gets a lot of the sadness from last season out of the way. They get to move on. They go into the bye week this week with full motivation moving forward.
Yeah, this game was basically an AFC Championship game preview, in my opinion. I think there's no way these aren't the two teams that come out of the AFC. Just no one else is as dominant as these two teams. The AFC West has not been as challenging as we thought it was going to be, so the Chiefs have a very clear path to winning that division.
Moving on now to our predictions for week 7. Starting it off, Thursday Night Football, Saints versus Cardinals.
The big reason I'm picking the Cardinals here, even though I don't think they're that much better of a team than the Saints, is because they will be getting DeAndre Hopkins back, and that unlocks a huge part of that offense.
Hopefully this week we can finally have a watchable TNF game as the Cardinals get the win this week.
Yeah, I have the Cardinals as well. I think getting DeAndre Hopkins back is really going to help them, and the addition of Robbie Anderson. But moving on now to the Falcons and Bengals, your matchup. Carson, you think they're going to take the W this week?
Yeah, the Bengals finally showed up last week. The offense looked like what it was, and Joe Burrow unlocked his full Joe Burrow effect. So these are going on for the rest of the episode. Gotta, flaunt him when I can, because I don't know how many more times I'm going to be able to wear them this season.
The Bengals, they head back to host Atlanta, but Atlanta's a sneaky team. There are several teams that are playing with a lot of heart in them this year, and Falcons are one of them. The Bengals need to not take the Falcons lightly at all, or else they're going to find themselves another tough loss.
I think it is going to be a tighter matchup than most people think based on how the Falcons have been playing, but I think the Bengals will come out on top. Next matchup, Lions versus Cowboys. This one was honestly kind of tough for me to pick, and I'm going to take the Lions just for pure chaos. And so Jerry Jones can have more decisive thoughts about who his starting quarterback is.
I think the Lions could have put up a fight, but if Dak starts, the Cowboys win.
Yeah, I got the Cowboys in this one. I do like the chaos narrative of the Lions, but, so many people were saying Cooper Rush should start when Dak is back. What kind of a conversation is that? Even when Cooper Rush, even though he was winning, it wasn't because of Cooper Rush. It was the Cowboys' defense.
Our next matchup is Colts versus Titans. Titans coming off their bye and the Colts coming off their win against the Jaguars. Will this finally be the week they have Jonathan Taylor back? I don't know, but I have the Colts winning this one.
The Titans, I think, are going to be the team that wins the AFC South. It'll probably be like an 8-9 or 9-8 record for them. But I just don't like what I've seen from the Colts. Even last week beating the Jags, I don't think they looked that impressive.
Next up, we have the Packers versus the Commanders. All I'm going to say is I'm just disappointed. I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed that we lost to the Jets at home at Lambeau Field wearing the throwback uniforms that everybody loves. I took the Jets to win last week against us, and they did. But I can't pick the Commanders to beat my Packers.
Still a lot of issues within the Commanders organization as a whole. Packers, it's a great team to bounce back against, and the Packers get it done.
Yeah, I'm also going to take the Packers here. The Commanders are not a good team with or without Carson Wentz.
Next matchup, we have the Bucks versus the Panthers. The Bucks coming off a shocking loss to the Steelers, and the Panthers losing as everyone expected to the Rams.
Buccaneers, very similar situation with the Packers. They lost to a team last week that you don't even know how they managed to lose that game. Sorry, Nick. But they're playing the Panthers, another team that you can easily bounce back against.
All right, it's time. I'm finally giving in to the Giants. I don't know if they're frauds, but I'm going to pick them to win this week against the Jags. They might be legit. We still don't know, but I have them winning this matchup against the Jacksonville Jaguars.
The Jaguars were one of my favorite teams at the beginning of the season. They had, two very convincing wins. One over LA that surprised me, and I was like, oh, maybe they are legit. Doug Peterson came in, and I was like, Trevor Lawrence has taken that step forward. But now here they are after a losing streak, which included losses to the Texans.
I feel like this could be a possible trap for the Giants since they are going up against someone who has their number, but This still feels like a new era Giants, and they'll find a way to win.
Next up, we have an AFC North matchup between the Browns and the Ravens. The Ravens, they did not look great last week against the Giants, but I'm going to stick with them this week and take them to win.
Yeah, as much as I hate both of these teams being a Bengals fan, the Ravens are the better team here.
We have a choking hazard this week. The Browns and Ravens, they're probably in contenders for the two biggest chokers of the year so far, especially the Ravens. The Ravens will win. Hopefully, they can hold on to the lead this time.
Up next, we have the Jets versus the Broncos. What do you guys think for this one?
It hurts me as a Fins fan, as I sort of want the Broncos to win so they can hold off the Jets. The Jets are starting to gain a lot of momentum, which is bad news for me, as we got to deal with, the Bills are really good, Jets are becoming good, the Pats are still the threat that they are.
I saw a stat that the defense is the 4th best in the NFL in terms of points per game, and the Broncos offense is dead last in points per game. The defense is doing everything they can for you, and you can't score more than 16 points. I don't know why I'm so angry on behalf of Broncos fans, but you know what? I'm angry on behalf of Broncos fans.
Clean sweep. I got the Jets beating the Broncos also. It's been a tough season so far for the Broncos. But moving on, we have the Texans versus the Raiders. Devontae Adams. Hopefully he doesn't shove a camera guy again this week, but I don't think he'll be in the mood to, because I have them winning this week.
The Raiders, though, I think they'll do just enough to win, depending on if Devontae Adams plays, because the Texans, they might be a little bit competitive, but they're still in just complete rebuild mode.
Yeah, I don't have too much to say about this game. The Raiders are disappointing, but they're still vastly better than the Texans are.
Up next is Seahawks and Chargers. I honestly think this is going to be a pretty decent matchup. Who do you guys think?
I got the Chargers winning this one, but it's by a last-second field goal, which is not something I thought I'd say at the beginning of the season with these two teams.
I think the Seahawks are still running a lot of momentum as a team with nothing to lose, and Geno keeps on cooking.
All right. I'm going to take the Chargers to win. I think that they have a little bit better defense, and especially playing at home, I think that'll help them. But up next, we have the Chiefs versus the 49ers. The Chiefs, despite losing last week, I think they're playing some of their best football, even without Tyreek Hill, so I have them winning this one as well.
The 49ers just lost to the Falcons somehow. I'm not really exactly sure how, but they did.
It could be a possible trap that they were looking ahead of this game, and they just got caught in a slump against the Falcons, who are proving a lot of people wrong as being a team to compete with. But I think the Chiefs, you play the Chiefs after a loss, and that's not going to end well.
All right, Kevin, your matchup of the week. You got Tua back. You're playing the Steelers, who knocked off the Bucs last week in a shocking fashion.
We've been waiting 3 weeks for Sunday night, and it's about darn time. Tua is finally coming back from injury, and the Dolphins, they are going to wear their throwback uniforms this week. They're going to honor that 1972 team that went undefeated. The Dolphins beat the Steelers in the playoffs on the way to reaching that perfect season.
I think it might take Tua a couple games to get back into rhythm because of how long he's been out, and because it was a head injury, which is very concerning, and because of the way it is, I think, one cheap shot and Tua could be right back out of that game, and that's a scary thought to have.
I got the Dolphins as well in this one. But speaking of bad primetime games, we have Monday Night Football, the Bears versus the Patriots. What do you guys think for this one?
I might not watch this one.
Yeah.
I think I've been subjected to so much bad primetime football over the last couple weeks that even I don't know if I can sit through this one.
Pretty interesting matchup, though. If Jones starts, it's going to be a rematch of the 2020 College Football National Championship game where Mac Jones' Alabama beat Justin Fields' Ohio State team.
I got the Patriots to win this one as well. I think hasn't been a great couple weeks for the Bears. Justin Fields, as you mentioned, he hasn't looked great. So thanks everybody for watching, and be sure to tune in next week to see how our predictions did.